All right, we're back with another episode of the Sab Powers podcast today with fellow comedian, just crazy interesting guy, Mark Andrews, everybody. How's it going, man?
Now I'm going to sound really uninteresting for like 20 minutes.
You're interesting to me, man. You do all kinds of crazy shit. You got your own YouTube channel where you did a foam kayak, the how-to. You got tons of views. How is
Yeah,
that?
that's just a side thing. That's just me being silly.
I know, and it got like crazy amounts of views on YouTube. When's the
Yeah.
next part coming out? Are you still
Well,
doing it?
yeah, it sort of got delayed for a little bit because I was other things going on. Fixing my mother-in-law's bathroom took me like most of the summer last year, so sort of got put on hold. But I'll finish it. Next up is an electric motor. I want to put an electric motor on it. I've got an electric motor and I've got a battery, so I want to get that rigged up. But last time I tried that, I almost dropped it in the water in the Welland Canal. So I need to do it a little bit better than duct tape and whatever I did last time.
Yeah. Man, so with like this coronavirus shit and everything, you were the one that said like you're the first one to drop out of Niagara's Top Comic. You knew it was gonna be like a big deal before anybody. How'd you know?
Because I read. I'm into science, right? You know that, right? So I follow science podcasts. I have science magazines that I subscribe to, and so I just read stuff. And it was amazing to me that it wasn't on mainstream media sooner, because I'm looking at. So there's one website I looked at. You probably followed it, Johns Hopkins University, the tracker thing. I don't know if you've seen that. You get to see how many people are dying, where they're dying. It's like stats and stuff. And there was one point where they started plotting cases outside China, and they had a little thing that said exponential. And as soon as they started doing that, I was like, okay, we're screwed, because it was like on an exponential plot, it was a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, that's it, game over. It's out of the genie's out of the bottle now. So yeah, I dropped out the competition because I thought it isn't going to happen. Although at the time I felt like a crazy person, because anytime I talk to anyone, they're like, nah, it's just in China. Nah, you're overreacting. I'm like, all right, you watch. Keep watching.
Yeah, everybody did think you were crazy, bro. Everyone was like, yeah.
There was that one night, the last night I was in Showtime, I was filming, right? And I did seem like a crazy person, because I was going up to everyone going, you getting food in? You got provisions? And they're all like, for what? What are you talking about? So I'm going off on one, and I'm sounding like I'm thinking this is probably what it feels like to be like a conspiracy theorist, or someone who's just going off the deep end a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it was unusual.
Except you were right, though. Yeah.
I know it feels good to be vindicated that there's a global pandemic that's killing people. It's never felt so good to be right about something.
Man, see, like I was watching your YouTube and you got like paragliding videos and stuff. That was pretty cool. How'd you even get into that?
Well, when I was 19, I saw it before that. I saw it when I was 17. I went on a holiday with my brother and my cousin. We went down to a place in England called Cornwall, and we saw it for the first time. And before that, I'd always thought about doing hang gliding when I was a kid, right? I'd always dreamt of flying, and when you go out on a windy day and it's really windy and you're like jumping up in the air and you're like a little kid.
Yeah.
And I'd always been interested in flying and stuff. And I saw this guy just cruising along the top of the cliffs, and I was like, what is that? So we went over and we just followed this guy. There's like cliffs, and then the wind come up the cliffs, and he's just going backwards and forwards. And this is back when I was 19, so that's like 27 years ago. So it's a long time ago, right? Because I'm an old fella. And I just thought, I got to do that. And then 2 years later, I was doing it. I got myself massively into debt, bought all the stuff, took lessons, just obsessed. I didn't even have a car at that point. So I didn't get a lot of flying done, but I flew for about 7 years before my brother started doing it. He wanted to do it as well. I was like, I got a twin brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to do it as well. And when he started doing it and we started doing it together, that was amazing. The best memories of my life. Some of the best memories of my life, because my wife's upstairs. Some of the best memories of my life is me and my brother just like thousands of feet up in the Swiss Alps or French Alps, Slovenian Alps, just like flying around and shouting to each other. It's just surreal. I obsess about it. I don't get to do it much these days, unfortunately, because I live in flat Pancake, Ontario, which doesn't have a lot of mountains.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you should try it before you die. It's fun.
Yeah, I would love to try it. That'd be awesome.
It's funner because we tried that a couple of years ago, and that is mental. It's just because one's slow and one's like one you can just fly at the ground and swoop and stuff. One is way more exciting. The paragliding is kind of relaxing, right? It's kind of mellow, and you just like chilling out and just floating about in the sky. So, yeah, I like that stuff.
Is it easy, like, to learn and do, or?
It's totally easy. It's like anyone could do it. I used to teach. I used to teach powered paragliding when I first moved to Canada, which is the one with the great big fan on the back, because there's no hills, right? So I looked it up when I was immigrating, when I was planning to come to Canada, and I found this guy who's now a great friend of mine. I saw him doing YouTube videos way back, like 2003. So I was following him on, it wasn't YouTube, he was just doing it on his website. And I thought, okay, well, that's the closest I'm going to get to paragliding. So I approached him when I got here, and he gave me a job helping out. And then later on, I got qualified, and I was teaching people to fly those things. So those things are noisy, heavy, dangerous, not quite what I got into flying for, because I like the quietness, and just floating around.
Mm-hmm.
The fan, it's just like, it's like the difference between sailing and going on a jet ski, right?
Yeah.
One requires skill, patience, and the other one is just like fill it up with gas and both fun though.
Yeah. Man, that's so cool. You should talk about that stuff more in your comedy. I feel like you don't let people in on your life, really.
Well, I'm just used to people not being interested in that stuff when I talk about it. They're like, "Oh, why would you want to do that? That's crazy. You're crazy." It's like, no, it's fun. It's like, how many people get to float about thousands of feet in the air and there's no noise, there's no engine, and you're just like drifting about. I like it.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Like in the one, like I was just surprised with how close you're getting to the ground. It's like so cool.
That was an unusual day because it's all different. Like you can fly the same place twice and it's completely different depending on the strength of the wind, the conditions. And that was a weird day because the wind was at a funny angle to the hill, which meant you could fly really close to the hill and like just skim along. It was a really interesting day. And I had my brother's contraption, which was like the thing that was filming me, flying behind me. Except I hadn't quite figured it out because it was swinging around all over the place. Now you can get like really good cameras and stuff, but back then it was like a chunky big camera, a piece of string, like there's a whole bunch of stuff that we rigged up to try and film things. But now it's like it's easy peasy now. Anyone can film themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
I like your background better than your bedroom with the wardrobe door open and the clothes. It almost looks professional, Sav.
Almost, yeah. I tried to fix it. Yeah, that's hilarious.
This is you grinding it. I've watched a couple of episodes and it made me laugh when your idea of grinding was sitting at home watching YouTube and chatting to your friends. I'm like, yeah, that's really hard graft. That's the guy working hard.
That's a good point, yeah.
In your bedroom, playing on your computer all day. Mom, can I have some food?
Do you watch the Levi episode? I'm like, go away, Mom! And then she comes in and does a dance.
I watched quite a lot, actually, surprisingly so. But basically just the people from Showtime, because I miss those guys. I miss just hanging out and talking nonsense. More than actual doing the shows, to be honest.
Same, man. I feel exactly the same.
Sometimes it's good just to hang out in the bar and take the piss out of something that's rubbish.
Yeah, yeah. Or just like for me, I'm a smoker. I know you don't smoke, but yeah, I
Yeah,
would go for smokes and talk with everybody outside and stuff. And yeah,
yeah.
I do miss that. Yeah, it was good times. Do you think like comedy is ever gonna go back to normal like the way it was?
Yeah, but not very quickly. It's going to get there. It's going to be a while. Um, I can't be. I don't know. I don't like the virtual thing. It's not. I've heard people talking about it on your show, and
Hmm.
yeah, it doesn't do it for me. I'm not. I'm not too excited about sitting in front of my computer and you know what I mean, doing one of those Zoom shows.
Yeah, yeah, me neither.
It's like the difference between going fishing and like playing fishing on your computer, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're both pretty pointless, but one's a bit more pointless.
Yeah, yeah. That's so funny. Um, Man, why don't you post like more stuff on YouTube when you're getting like so many views and stuff?
Because I'm not a view whore. I'm not. I'm not interested in likes, views. I just do it for. I don't know. Just do it for fun, right?
Mhm.
I've got other channels that I didn't share with you because they're a bit more shameful.
Mhm.
Um, they're the things like I should probably take down because they're like 12 years old and they're kind of embarrassing, but they're out there.
I'll find them. I'll find them.
You
Uh,
won't find them.
with the kayak, that thing was awesome, man. It was so funny. I remember like at the beginning you said one would cost like $1,000, and then you put all this work into it, and like I don't know how many videos in, probably 6 videos in. You're like, I spent like over $600, and you're like a little bit more than I wanted to spend, and I was
Yeah,
like, man.
but yeah. Okay, so originally, so the idea for the phone kayak, for those of you that don't know what Sab's talking about, which will be most of you,
Mhm.
everybody, in fact, I built a, a kayak, a 14 or 16-foot kayak, no, 14-foot kayak out of foam insulation, you know, the stuff that goes in the walls, the Pink Panther stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So me and a buddy of mine were sitting around his fireplace in his back garden, just talking nonsense, drinking beers, and we were saying it'd be fun to make a boat. So we were sort of thinking about ways we could do it. We came up with the idea of the foam thing, thinking that might work. I looked it up online and I saw that people had already done it. So then I went out, bought the stuff and just tried to design it all from scratch. And originally what I was going to do to make it cheaper was try and get like old recycled foam. So I wouldn't be paying for it. And then I was going to do this thing, it's called poor man's fiberglass, where you put like bed sheets on stuff and you put glue or paint on it. So it's not fiberglass, but it's sort of like a really crappy version.
Hmm.
But I couldn't get free foam, so I went out and bought the foam, which was bloody expensive. It's like $70 for a sheet. It's really expensive. And then by the time I'd made this thing, I was like, I mean, it's crap, but I
I
put so
think
much
it's
work.
cool.
I put so much work into it. I thought I don't want to put this poor man's fiberglass on it now. Now I want to do real fiberglass. So, and then I thought, you know what? I've always wanted to do fiberglass. I've never tried it. I have no idea how to do it. It'd be fun to try that. Then I found out that fiberglass is really frigging expensive as well. And then it just get more and more expensive, right? So now I've got something that's not quite on par with something you would buy, but really expensive. But it is super, super light. To be fair, it's way, way lighter.
And
And it's,
yeah, it is lighter for sure, and it looks cool. But I like are you gonna paint it or anything? You think?
nah, because I thought about painting it, and then I thought, you know what? I don't want it to look too good. I want it to look a bit crap, because
Hmm.
then people will go, "Did you make that?" Whereas if it looks too crap, they'll go, "What's that piece of crap?" Do you know what I mean? It'll just be like a crappy kayak. Whereas if it's got
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
on and it's got like bits on it, they'll go, "What? Did you make that?" And it might be more interesting to have something that looks a bit shit.
Hmm.
Plus, I can't be bothered to paint it.
No, I don't want you to paint it either. I like the pink and everything. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I'll definitely get out on it this year if I if this COVID thing calms down a little bit.
Hmm. Man, yeah, it's crazy. Like, did you think everything was gonna shut down? Like, did you know that was gonna happen?
I didn't know anything was going to happen.
It seemed like you knew.
I just thought this. Well, the thing is, okay, so I'm going to get boring for a little bit because most people tune out when I start talking about math. But it's basically exponential growth, right? So as soon as you see it's exponential growth, like they've got to jump on it really quick, or we're screwed, right? And they weren't jumping on it really quick. That was the thing that was worrying me. It's like no one was sort of really taking it seriously, which surprises me because people know about this stuff. Books have been written on this. TED Talks have been made about pandemics and stuff. Films have been, like, people know how this works. Like, I didn't understand why governments were sort of so slow on the uptake.
I think just most people are stupid in general, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I think I'm coming to the conclusion that most politicians are fucking idiots.
yeah.
They surround themselves by other idiots that advise them and make idiotic decisions. So I think science, there should be more science politicians rather than, you know, like business people and lawyers, because they're smart, but they're smart in a different way, aren't they? You know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyway, I got COVID tested. There's a scoop for you.
You got tested?
Yeah, on Saturday.
And what happened?
It's fucking uncomfortable. I saw it, and I saw it on you know, on the YouTube and stuff, and it looks like they put a little cotton bud up and they're just going up nose like that. So I pulled into this drive-through testing place, and the doctor comes out, and she's got like full PPE on, and she says, "Oh, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable." I'm like, "All right, yeah." Try not to swap me away when I do it. So she gets this like swab thing, and it's like a full like 3-4 inches long. Now, as a kid, I broke my nose, right? I didn't mention it to her, but it means that the inside of my nose is all like squashed up. If you can see my nostrils, they don't line up; they're all misaligned. So she's ramming it up, and it won't go up one side. And she's ramming it up, and I'm like, "Oh!" Trying not to make a fuss. So then she goes, "Oh, that's a bit tight. Let's try the other side." And the other side's just as bad because it's like, so she's like ramming it up there, and my eyes are watering. I'm like, "Oh, this is more than discomfort. This is actually painful." But I'm trying not to make a fuss. Had I known what I was going to expect, I'm glad I didn't know what it's going to be like. Because if I had to go for another one, I'd be hesitant, right? Yeah. I'd rather have like 5 injections. It was that uncomfortable.
So and you're good, right? You don't have it, or?
No, I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
So you can't get it through the computer.
But all people, I would expect you to not have it. So why'd you even get tested in the first place?
Because last week I had a fever for 3 days. So that was a little bit. And you go on there's like a government website, and it says self-assessment, fill out these questions, and so just as a precaution, I want to get tested, find out one way or another. So I've been hiding out in my basement for 10 days, away from my family. So that's been a bit difficult.
You started like when all this stuff first started, you started a group on Facebook about the COVID-19, and then you left the group and you made Ryan in charge instead. I'm wondering why you decided to leave it all behind.
Because the point of me setting it up was just to try and sort of like raise, in my own little way, trying to raise awareness and stop people going out and mixing and doing stuff. Because at that point, people were still going to shows, and I was thinking, you know what, going to shows, like, this is my opinion, right? Going to comedy shows, you're mixing with a lot of people that have been to a lot of other places, right? So you're going to rooms that are small, crowded, low ceilings, lots of people. And if you're a comedian, you're going to lots of these different rooms. So my thinking was, well, comedians would be like a pretty good way of spreading this around. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to be the person doing that. So I was thinking, you know, set the group up, raise awareness. And since I know a lot of comedians, once it got into the point where we went into lockdown, I thought it's pointless now. Right. Purpose. Do you know what I mean? Plus, I couldn't be bothered anymore. People were posting lots of nonsense on there, and I was getting sick of taking stupid stuff down, like conspiracy theories and, you know,
bad jokes or whatever.
Yeah, and then people putting like little animated GIFs and stuff like that nonsense. People like to fill the internet with rubbish, don't they? And I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I'll just hand over the reins, and it served its purpose, I think. Anyway, not that it did anything, but you like to try sometimes.
Right. If Niagara's top comic gets up and going again, say in like September or October, would you do it?
Yeah, totally. I was gagging to do that. I've been like, it wasn't an easy decision to pull out of that show. So I really want to win that bloody thing. I'm sick of I keep getting knocked out in the first round and stuff. Like I made it through once, and I'm like, you know, I've got to get further than the first round. This is pathetic.
Same. I've only made it through the first round once, and then I got knocked out second round, and I was all pissed.
Yeah, it's like a little ego adjustment every year, isn't it? When you start thinking, yeah, I'm pretty good at this, and then you go and do the comic thing, and you get knocked out.
Yeah. You lose against somebody that just started, and then you're like, ah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I really like everyone does. We're all competitive, right? We're all competitive. I think comics are. I think we're competitive. I don't think anyone blasé goes up. I don't know. I am. I know I am.
Yeah. I think we got like a big mix of people. That's like one of the beautiful things about comedy is like everybody's so different. You know what I mean? We're all like everyone, their style of comedy is like so different, and just personalities and like ages, like everything. You know what I mean? Like Showtime was just like a good mixed batch of people.
You're just taking a knock at my age there, aren't you? That was a little jive, wasn't it?
No, I was thinking of Tim when I said that, actually.
All right, okay. Yeah, no, I think I am your oldest guest. I think.
Oh, you're older than Tim?
Yeah, considerably.
Really?
Yeah, I know. He looks really old, doesn't he?
Why does he have so much gray hair and you have none?
I don't know. Hard life, maybe. I don't know.
How old are you?
46.
Wow. That's awesome. You look good for your age, man. I gotta quit smoking. That's what it is.
I don't know why I'm even covering my cough. There's no one here.
Yeah.
She's coughing to the camera.
Yeah. Then we could see the COVID right on the screen. That'd be good.
So I saw your chess thing as well that you were doing. That was an interesting idea because it kind of gets people chatting and has something going on that's sort of distracting. Although no one really seems to pay attention too much to the chess, I've noticed. The quality of the games is a bit...
Yeah. I thought it was a good idea, too. It's my other podcast, Checkmates, where me and David Green would play chess, have two guests on, and then the four of us just talk about whatever while I crush David in chess. I think we're releasing like one a week of that one. But David's like really focused on his TikTok right now. He's just... Did you hear about how he's getting hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok?
Yeah, I heard about that.
What do you think of all that?
I don't know why. I know people got different priorities, but chasing hundreds of thousands of views to me on TikTok, I don't know. It's not something I would prioritize in my life right now. Because if it's 15 seconds, like you're going to get more views, right? Because if you've done a 10-minute video on YouTube and you get a certain number of views, well, how many 15s are there in 10 minutes? It's like 40. So you're going to get 40 times as many views, aren't you, on a 15-minute? Why don't you make it one? You'll get like 1 second, you'll get even more views.
That's a good point in a way, but my TikTok videos get no views. I get like less than 10 sometimes.
I thought about it. I should have filmed myself getting this swab because that would have probably got. But then what's the point? Like, what? I don't get the point of. All right, so you get 1 million views. Then what? It's not. You're not. Can you monetize it? Is it going anywhere? Is it?
Yeah, so they're just starting to put ads on TikTok now. I don't know how much that money they're gonna give to the actual creators, but. Yeah, and like maybe it could push people to like your YouTube channel. David Green can try to get YouTube subscribers possibly, or...
Yeah, but I think TikTok, it just appeals to kids that have got the attention span of like swipe. Isn't that what it is? I don't think...
Right, that's why his one-liners work so good on there, right? Because he just does like one joke per video.
Yeah. But I can't, it's not something I can get excited about. For me, comedy is is just me going into a room and showing off and enjoying that. That's you know what I mean? It's like it's being in a room and having everybody in the room laughing and falling about thinking that you're hilarious. That is the experience that I'm after, really. And all this other stuff doesn't really do it for me.
So you never start your own podcast, you don't think?
I don't know what I would talk about, to be honest. I think it's saturated, isn't it? There's loads of stuff like that. There's loads of people chasing the same stuff, doing the same thing.
That's a good point.
It's a very saturated space. I'm a father, so I don't want to spend too much time. I already spent quite a lot of time on the comedy, right? You know, going out once a week. I don't want to take away too much from that because you know they grow up quick and you don't want to miss it. So I think I'm just older. I've got different priorities, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So
I actually behave very immature for my age anyways. I'm almost 30 and I'm still act like a fucking 18-year-old pretty much.
That's all right. I mean, that's all right. Yeah, there's no rush to, you know. I don't know. I can be pretty immature as well. It's just there's just certain things that you, as you get older, you kind of like you drift away from different motivations. Do you know what I mean? Like you think, like a lot of people go, "Oh yeah, I feel like I'm young," but they don't really. You don't really go out and do the staying up all night and partying and stuff anymore. You're like, "Oh, it's a bit late. I feel like going to bed."
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Or you just don't go. You just don't do things that you're not interested in doing anymore. Like when you're younger, you're like, I said I'd go to that thing. I'll go to that thing, and you don't really feel like it. But when you're old, you're like, nah, I can't be bothered. I'm just gonna stay in.
Yeah, that's like a big problem for me is that if someone asks me to do something, I'm like, nah, I don't really feel like doing that. And then they ask like 2 more times, I'm like, okay, fine. And then I'll go do that thing.
I've noticed that, Sam. when I've tried to get you up at 5 a.m.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. That would have been cool to do a 5 a.m. podcast.
I thought it'd be funny to do it in 5 o'clock in the morning. Firstly, I was curious as to whether you'd stay up late or get up early, because my money was stay up late.
Yeah, that's what my plan was.
And that's what I think. So this is what I think happened. You tried to stay up that late, but you got to like 3:30 and you were like fading out and you were like, no, I can't be bothered. I'm going to bed.
No, I passed out. If I knew I was like actually going to go to sleep, I would have messaged you because I woke up and I felt bad. I was like, fuck. You know? And I'm in a way, I'm happy with you because, I mean, I'm happy it was with you and not somebody else because you're like, I consider you a friend in real life, whereas I've done this with random people that I've never met, right? So I didn't want to be like super unprofessional with one of them.
Do you find it harder doing it with the random people that you've not met? Do you find it harder to string stuff along?
Yeah, it's way harder because like we've talked, you know, we've had tons of conversations. So like I almost forget that we're recording. Like same with Tim, same with like Mitch and like people that I actually know and talk to, where it's like with these people that I've never met before, it's literally like our first conversation, right? So I feel like with that, it's more of like an interview almost. And I don't really have any questions set up. And like the ones that I do like ask people a lot, they're pretty stupid questions anyways. So they can be brushed off. Like I'm like, so what do you think about Epstein? And they're like, I know nothing about that. You know?
Yeah. So then I saw that one actually. Then there was one where you proceeded to explain the whole thing and then ask again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I've given you basically what I think. What do you think?
Yeah. And then I'm just like, yeah, do you believe in ghosts? And they're like, no, moving on. Which
I liked Mitch's response to that one because I was surprised when he said he believed in Santa until he was 12.
That was fucked up.
That was a little bit worrying. I was like, fucking hell.
That was so funny. The way he finds out is Santa's like, yeah, I live in a shitty apartment too. And then the kids start crying and he's like, wait.
I was actually laughing out loud when he said that he believed in Santa until 12. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Holy crap. But I mean, it's fair play. I believed in Jesus till I was 16. So I mean,
yeah.
Swings and roundabouts.
Oh man, that's funny shit, bro. Yeah, Yeah, fucking. It's weird how many people believe in ghosts. Like, I'm actually surprised. So let's hear your thoughts on it. Do you believe in ghosts?
No, I don't.
That's what I expected. Okay, good.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say you're not surprised by that. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into science, but I believe in ghosts.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing is, what I always people say, if there was real ghosts, there'd be like categories, there'd be science behind it, wouldn't there? There'd be like it'd be like on Ghostbusters where there'd be like classifications, and there'd be people getting Nobel prizes for discovering the newest ghost and stuff like that. I mean, there's no real science about it. No one's. So it's obviously nonsense, right? If we would have found it by now, it's like.
Why do you? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, the brain is pretty. The brain can do a lot of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we what we perceive and what's real are different things, and I think there's all sorts of reasons that people can perceive stuff that's not really there, or they can attribute stuff to like some kind of spirit or something. It makes sense to people, right? People are looking for meaning and stuff, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
And that fills the gap, and it makes sense to people. Some people.
Yeah, yeah. It was surprising to me, like the amount of people that believe it, though. You know what I mean? It seems like more do than don't.
You're not a ghosty then?
No, I'm down for saying like anything is possible, but I like to think logical and stuff. Like even like you're into science, and I'm like, I guess I'm kind of into it. Like I don't really do enough research and stuff, but I like.
You're into YouTube science, right?
Yeah, exactly. I guess, right? I'm just out with the whatever makes like I don't know. Ignorance is bliss in a way, so it's like I'd take most things at face value. You know, I'm not gonna go deep into conspiracy theories, shit like that. I kind of just
there's people out there with some weird ideas about like even this COVID thing. People think that some people think this is a hoax, right? It's like what, the whole planet? Really? How's that going to work? Like, it's just, I know, there's just so much nonsense online, and then people repost it and they post it and they copy it and they blog and it just goes on and on. And once you get nonsense out there, that's the problem with the internet. It's good for information, but it's also really good for misinformation. A lot of people don't have the skills to know the difference.
Yeah, I'm like one of those people. That's why I'm kind of like I don't really like follow the news and all that stuff, because it's like what's like the best way to get rid of like the fake news or whatever, because like nobody's got enough time to go into depth research on everything. Like
That's the thing. Yeah, well, I think what you got to do is you just got to. I don't think you need to get rid of it. I think you just need to educate people. You need to make people more discerning about the information they consume, not just to take everything on face value. You know, if there's a video with the caption, does the caption really go with the video? Was the video edited? Like, did that person really say that answer to that question? There's all sorts of ways you can manipulate stuff, right? And if people aren't aware of that, you know, they just take everything on face value.
And it's getting crazier and crazier with like technology, man. Like the stuff they can do, you know? Like,
the deep fake faces and videos and voices. It's mental now.
Yeah, like I seen this one video of Keanu Reeves like saving a store from getting robbed, and it's not even him.
That same video. I think I've seen those guys playing around with that. But it gets to the point where you could be filmed doing something, and then you could legitimately, in the next few years, just go, "Oh, no, that's fake video," you know, and then people aren't sure, right?
Yeah.
Filmed committing a crime, and you just go, "No, someone set me up. That's fake."
Yeah. Have you heard the podcast Elon Musk did with Joe Rogan recently?
Yeah.
What do you think of the whole Neuralink thing?
I'll let someone else try it first, I think.
Would you get it, you think? You would get... So, for people that don't know, it's a chip that goes in... they take a piece of your skull, cut it out, and put this in there. And it can help with all types of things.
Well, mean, I probably get it if I had like a medical need for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's at the point now where, so yeah, basically they got these little thin film wires with like 32 electrodes on them. They're actually made out of like a plastic or something, right? So they're like inert in the body with like a gold ribbon. There's 32 electrons, and they have a little robot that like threads it in and pushes it in and misses all the blood vessels and stuff. So it seems like, and if anyone's going to run a team, organize a team to do it, it'd be Elon Musk, right? I mean, he's good at assembling talented teams of people because he's not presumably doing all this himself. He's got other
No,
things.
yeah.
He's a little bit busy.
Yeah.
Doing other things. But I think if it was a medical device and I had like epilepsy or, you know, I had spinal injury or something, yeah, I'd go for it in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
But as like a body modification, I don't know. I think I'd give it a few years and just see how it pans out. Because I don't know. It seems, I don't know. There's medicine to fix stuff, and then there's like, he's into all that AI stuff, isn't he? He thinks it's gonna. He's a bit of a, yeah. He seems like a crazy person, but when you actually listen to what he's saying, it sort of makes sense, but it still doesn't. It still sounds a bit crazy, right? On the face of it, you know, we've got to merge with the AI to stop ourselves getting killed. It seems a little bit mental, but then, like, where is AI going to be in like 100 years?
Right. I think it's going to get crazy even in like 50, 20, even like 15 years. I think like technology's just going to get real crazy soon, I think, you know?
Yeah.
Just because
So
it's like a crazy snowball effect, right? It gets better and better and better, faster and faster and faster.
yeah. Would you get it?
I don't know. It's again one of those things that I ask everybody, and most people say no. But I'm kind of like leaning towards like more what you're saying, where it's like, if I need it, why not? Like, if I'm gonna have Alzheimer's and not know what's going on, or be fine, like, why would you not choose be fine? But I do
Yeah.
have fears, right? Like, I'm scared that it could be hacked or something, you know, maybe some sort of like crazy
Yeah.
mind control. I don't know,
You're
but
like, oh, I can't help myself.
and you're a science guy. Is that possible? Like, would you be able to get mind controlled through that, you think, or?
Well, don't forget. I mean, this is early days, right? This is like the beginning of technology. I think they're up to like 3,000 electrodes or something at this point, which is still like massively better than other kind of implants that are in the order of like 10 to 100 electrodes. So they're doing pretty well. But I mean, it's obviously like all these things, it's going to ramp up. And I just don't know how many little skinny wires you can put into your brain without messing things up. Because obviously it's got to go through the tissue, right? That's the bit that concerns me. If you're putting these like, okay, they're 1/10 of the width of a hair, but they're still like poking all this stuff into your brain. So I don't know. I'd wait. I'd hold off a little bit, and then see how it goes. And then you don't want to be finding out in 10 years' time that all these people have suddenly got some kind of, they're having seizures, or there's some sort of adverse reaction. It's like LASIK, isn't it? You don't want to be the first one having LASIK.
What was LASIK? What happened with that?
That's the cornea thing, where they etch your cornea to reshape it so you can see better, like correct it.
Right.
See, I wouldn't have got that done back in the day when they were first doing that, but I'd get it done now.
Have you got it done?
No.
You do need glasses, don't you, normally?
Yeah, I do.
Same. Yeah, I'd get it, probably. That's a good point, actually. Okay, how about this? What if they took your brain and put it in a robot body? So it's kind of the opposite, right? Of them putting the robot in your brain. They put your brain in the robot body. Would you do that?
Well, I would when I'm like 90.
Mm-hmm.
I've got nothing to lose. It's like I plan on doing all sorts of things when I'm 90, because you think, well, what am I risking? I'm risking, 2 days more life or something,
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're going to try heroin and all that stuff?
Did you see the guy that was all lined up for the head transplant? Did you see that? That's the same sort of idea.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Did that ever actually happen? I remember
No,
like
no.
reading about it years ago.
No, there was this one surgeon, and he was like a rogue surgeon that wants to be famous for doing the first procedure, and they were going to do like a head transplant. Like it's basically a body transplant.
Yeah,
Like
so they put like someone who's they had someone who's brain dead and someone who's paraplegic or whatever. So someone that
yeah,
can't use their body, someone that can't use their brain, and they're basically gonna switch the heads, or at
yeah.
least yeah.
And then you end up with a paraplegic who's brain dead.
Yeah. And one fully functioning guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot that bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they never did that. But I mean, that guy that was signed up for that was obviously, so he's obviously paraplegic, but even he, off when it got close to it, was like, yeah, maybe not. So I'm thinking,
Oh, really?
yeah, like he backed out, and that's totally reasonable because you think you can still do quite a lot as a paraplegic. You can do quite a lot of stuff, and actually, like, people adjust. You know, you get. I think you just get used to a new normal, as we're all finding out now. And I think, you know, life's still worth living as a paraplegic. So even a paraplegic was thinking, I don't really want to chance this because it's got a chance of going wrong. So I think you'd have to be pretty bad to want to go into a robot body. Again, being the first one. If everyone was doing it and it's working out great, yeah, probably. It'd have to be a good one. I'd want to, like, all the mods and all the newfangled jetpacks and all that stuff. I wouldn't want a rubbish one.
Yeah. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
The ability to do anything.
Nice, good answer.
Well, when people pick superpowers, they always pick something that's so limited, aren't they? They're like, oh yeah, I'd like the ability to become invisible. All right. But when you think about it, if you were invisible, you'd still be making noise, wouldn't you? And you'd obviously have to be walking around, presumably you'd have to be walking around naked.
Yeah.
You know, when you actually think about it, the ability to do stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, invisibility would kind of suck in that way. Yeah, it's like that's like one of the shittiest ones, in my opinion.
Well, when you think about it, because you still have to open the door to creep into a room. I think people sort of think, yeah, you'd be able to like float through and sort of go anywhere, but you'd still be like walking around, wouldn't you? And
yeah.
They just throw flour on you, and you're busted, aren't you? You're just.
Exactly. Yeah, so, my answer is kind of the same as yours. I usually say like I'd want to be a shapeshifter, right? Because then you could just change into anything that you want, and then you could change it. If someone had the power to be invisible, you could change it to them, and then you could be invisible too.
Yeah, I don't think it's something we're gonna have to worry about. It's good to think about these things.
So what's a good book to recommend if I ever start reading?
This one's a good one for when you get married. Tells your wife things not to do.
Did your wife ever read that?
No. It's good though. It says, don't nag your husband. If he won't carry out your wishes for love of you, he certainly won't because you nag him, which is good advice for wives. So I think that would be a good start for you for when you hook up with a wife.
Yeah, if that ever happens. That's hilarious.
Unpleasant Ways to Die. That's a good one.
Nice. Do you remember the last comedy show that you did?
No, I don't. I heard you asking other people, and I was racking my. I've got a terrible memory, to be honest. Which is why I take cue cards up. You've seen me with my cue cards on stage.
I don't remember either. I also have a terrible memory, but I've just been doing the same jokes for 4 years, so I didn't.
I was gonna say, yeah.
yeah, it's hard to forget them.
I do remember the time I tried to call you out for doing the same material because mine was really sucking. If you remember, I was doing new stuff and it was really bombing bad. And then I don't know. I said something like, "Oh yeah, this is what happens when you do new material, but you wouldn't know, Sab." And you just done your funniest new bit.
Yeah, and everybody in the crowd laughed, though. They all loved it when you said that. Yeah, and I was like, that was the first time that I tried the poo finger. Yeah, and it was destroying. which is so funny because well, I did do some old stuff too though, so it was fair for you to take that shot. And that was the biggest laugh of your whole
I
act
know
that
the
day.
rest of the stuff I'd like thought about and crafted and spent effort on
Yeah,
got nothing. But some throwaway comment that really doesn't even make sense because you've done new stuff got people laugh.
yeah,
Sometimes it just works like that, right?
yeah, totally, man. Uh,
Are you
so,
watching anything on Netflix at the moment? Like, what are you binge watching right now?
so I binge watched Outer Banks just because, like, do you remember Devin
I'm
Karen?
writing it down. Outer Banks.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know Devin Karen?
I saw the name on your podcast list, but I didn't delve into it.
Yeah, so he used to come to Showtime and stuff. He's young. He's not even 19 yet, I guess. But he's like interviewing the celebrities from Outer Banks. So because I'm trying this whole YouTube thing and like he's like another YouTuber, like me and him have been talking more and like yeah, so I wanted to support his channel. So like if I'm gonna watch all these interviews, I was like I better watch the show first.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's actually it's pretty good. It's like one of these teen shows, so you have like hot young people in it. But it's like it's not like Riverdale. It's like it's kind of like a mystery too, you know, instead of just like a regular teen drama. So I watched that. That's only one season right now though. Um I watched the 100. Have you seen that?
Was that the human 100 humans? Was it?
No, that one sucks. The 100 humans sucks. So they just ask random people questions. The
I haven't
100
seen
is like more of like a real TV show. Like it's like about like they send like 100 kids back down to Earth when they think
All
that it's gonna die. Like
right. Yeah, no,
that
I haven't seen that. I
that
haven't
one's
seen
like
that.
7 seasons or something or 8 seasons. I don't know. So if like you want something super long to binge, that one's pretty good. I don't know. What kind of shit have you been watching?
Well, I just not on YouTube. Sorry, not on Netflix. On YouTube, I just found I like the British panel humor games. I don't know. I just find British humor makes me laugh. There's one called Taskmaster. Have you come across that?
No.
You've got to look it up, Sab. It's
Okay.
hilarious. It's
I'll write it
really
down.
good. Taskmaster. I've only just found it like 2 days ago, and then I just completely binge watched it in the last 2 days.
Is it on YouTube too?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay.
They've got all the past series they've put on YouTube because they've got clips of it and they put the actual series on. But it sort of got me thinking that would be. See, the podcast is one thing, but I mean, I'd be more interested in making something like Impractical Jokers, right? That's freaking hilarious, right?
Yeah, I love those guys. They're awesome.
Yeah. So that would be something I think that the Niagara comics could do, something similar to that, or you know what I mean? Like come up with their own sort of. It'd have to be novel. It'd have to be different and funny, and wouldn't rely on just two people talking to each other, which is okay. But it's like there's a lot of people doing that, right? I think
Yeah,
to stand
yeah.
out, you'd have to do something. You have to do something quite different.
hmm
But
Don't
that task,
shit talk it too much. This is going up on the
I
internet.
know. I was thinking, as I'm thinking, I just keep knocking this podcast, and don't I? I've been knocking podcasting.
Man, I'm doing okay. I'm getting some views. I get like usually like around 70 views per episode, I want to say.
Yeah. Well,
hmm
that's
I know it's nothing compared to the hundreds of thousands of views you get building this foam kayak. Why do you think so many people are interested in that?
I don't know. I wasn't planning it out. I just thought
Mhm,
I'm going to make a thing, and I thought I'd document it because I got a crappy memory. So and also when I do a lot of video editing. I like video editing, but then if I save it on my computer, I end up losing stuff. It's in like multiple folders. It's all over the place. You get a
mhm,
new computer, so it's just for me putting stuff on YouTube is also just easier because I can go and find it later on. Like I put a lot of stuff on there that's not listed as well
mhm.
just for me, so I can go on and I've got all like my family videos and stuff on there because I can find them because they're in
Yeah,
there.
same thing for me. I wish I put more comedy sets up and stuff because like I don't really have like I have the one good set on there, but it's all clean, right? It had to be clean. So
Yeah,
like all my good dirty jokes, I don't really have a good recording.
I got I got a bunch of stuff from you from you. I think I filmed you a couple of times. I should
hmm
probably put it here. So I film I've got loads of stuff of other people.
Yeah.
I try to ask people, not like certain people that shove a camera in your face and upload it to their YouTube channel. But
No, I love it when you film me, man. Like that one of like me doing like the ukulele show is great that you sent me, and yeah, so like I've watched a couple of the ones that you filmed that sent me, but it's like they're good, but it's like they're not like YouTube quality where it's like,
yeah,
you know what
they're
I mean?
grainy. It's in the dark, so it doesn't really come out very
Yeah,
well.
yeah. But they are good to have just to like for me to watch and listen to and like realize like what I did wrong or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You got to be self-critical, haven't you? Which is
Hmm.
something you've got to look at yourself. That's the thing. I don't think enough people are self-critical in like the amateur comedy circles. You know, they
Hmm.
sometimes just keep doing the same stuff even when it's not working. Like I'll do stuff and it won't work a couple of times, but I won't do it like 10 times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I actually
But,
did have that problem at first. Like there was this sandwich joke I used forever. And then I was like,
what's
this
that?
joke is trash. Like, why am I doing this? So I was like, oh man.
I thought what DJ was saying was pretty true because he was saying, "Don't blame the room, blame yourself." And I
Yeah.
think that is true, like 95% of the time. But there are odd occasions when, like, I've been in that Irish bar opposite what's it called? Opposite,
Mate's? Oh no, no Mate's.
opposite Showtime. What's the Irish bar called? Right in the corner.
Oh, like Kaz's or Fiddlers or is it Fiddlers? I
I
think.
don't know. It's right opposite. It's right in the
Yeah.
corner. Right opposite Show. Anyway, we've been there, and it was full of students
Hmm.
and no one was listening. Right? It was like a karaoke night. It was no one was listening, and I got the microphone, and no, absolutely nobody was listening. Even there were people playing darts in front of me, like on the stage.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, okay, that was never going to work, right? Because it was just like that noise level where you couldn't even hear the mic. So there
Right.
are
What are
there
you
are.
supposed to do? Start yelling at them?
Well, yeah,
Listen!
it was yelling. It wasn't happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, 95% of the time, yeah, it is the comedian, right? And that's a skill that I would like to have, the crowd work and the modifying my set, because I go in with this thing and
Hmm.
it's scripted from like first word to the last word, more or less. Well, like pretty, like I'm not switching the order of anything, right? I'm not going off the fly. I've done that once.
Hmm.
It was horrible. I did that at Jen's party once and it was horrible. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if you
remember that. I remember that because we were trying to get you to talk about stuff because you were being hilarious. You were talking to me and this lady, and you were being so funny. And I was like, "Say that in your act tonight," and then you did, but you butchered it. You like made it.
Oh my god, I'm so glad there's no record of that anywhere. Because
Yeah.
I'd had a few drinks. I got dropped off by my wife, so I thought, great, I can get drunk. So, and I
Hmm.
did. And then, yeah, we were chatting around, and then people, and I hadn't planned on doing anything. And Jen said, "Oh, you can do a set if you like." She said, "Do some new stuff. Do something new. Why don't you just talk about what you're talking about now? That's funny." I was like, I'm having a few drinks. I'm going, "Yeah, that is pretty funny." And I get up and I go, "It's terrible." And it was just so awkward.
Yeah.
I'm just standing there going, "Oh, yeah, well, you should have been there." Yeah, it was actually quite funny at the time. You know, when you're really struggling.
And then I went up next and killed with all my
Yeah,
old
I know.
shit.
I thought you'd mentioned that. That was so cringeworthy. I'm
Yeah.
glad no one got that.
Yeah, someone might out there secretly. I doubt it though.
Yeah, Ambrish would have it if he was there, but
Yeah.
he wasn't.
Hmm. You watch any of Ambrish's YouTube stuff?
Only the stuff I'm in, just to see if it's libelous.
Yeah. He's been killing it recently. Um, you got any questions you want to ask me? Do you have any?
Yeah, what's the meaning of life?
Oh, that's a good one. That I actually wrote that question down to ask people. That's so funny. I have it right here. Um, I don't know. Fuck, I'm stupid, man. I don't know shit. I have no idea. What do you think the meaning of life is? Is there a meaning even? Maybe there
Well,
is no meaning.
have fun before you die.
Yeah.
Do some stuff.
just try to be happy. Don't hurt anyone. Try to make other people happy. I don't know if that's the meaning, but that's like what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
It's just not suffer. It would suck to like be in like a hospital bed suffering for years or something. That's like my fear. Like I'm not really too afraid of dying, but I'm like afraid of like suffering for a long time before I die.
Do you ever think about the fact? I think about death every single day.
Mhm.
Do you think about death a lot?
Yeah,
Really.
I think so. Cause like I don't like. It's like I don't know what's gonna happen, right? Like, do you think it's just like nothing that once you die
Yeah.
that there's
Yeah,
nothing
I do.
after?
I think it's pretty much nothing.
Hmm.
But I've always like, I find myself, I like brush my teeth and I'll be like, oh yeah, gonna die at some point. Don't waste your time. I'll be having breakfast and go, don't forget you're gonna die one day. Don't waste your day.
Hmm.
And it's like this little constant little. It's not like I don't get like super deep and depressed, but it's like this little chirping thing, like when you didn't do your homework as a kid and you've got a deadline coming up or something. It's that feeling of you're gonna die one day. It's getting closer. It's getting closer. I don't know.
Right. It
Is
could
that
be
just me?
like I get that too, but like not. I don't know. I'm not just like you're gonna die. You're gonna die one day. Like it's more
But a
like
lot of people, they don't. I don't know. I see a lot of people. They don't seem. I'm wondering. Are you thinking about it? Do people even realize their own mortality? When you see people walking around, they
yeah.
get in their daily lives, and you think, do we all realize that we're just here for a little bit?
Another thing I'm afraid of is like not accomplishing anything good before I die. Like if I died right now, I feel like my life would just pretty much be like a waste. Like what did I do? Nothing. Did I help like anybody? No.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got no words of consolation for you there. Sorry.
Yeah.
You better get out and do something.
I'm trying. I'm trying with this podcast. It'll save the
Yeah,
world
that's not it.
1% time.
Something else.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So like, I think with you, like, it's the whole thinking about death thing. You're using it in a good way, whereas like a lot of people might just get super sad because of that and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna die. What's the point of anything?" But you're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna die. I better
but
get
then I
this stuff
extend
done."
it, and then I start thinking, I'm going to die. Everyone I know is going to die.
Hmm.
No one's going to remember us. Like in 500 years,
Yeah, it's like
no
your
one's
bit
going
that
to
you have
remember.
about it.
No
Yeah.
one's going to remember anything, right?
Yeah, then the sun's gonna explode eventually. Everything you
I
do is
know. And
ultimately
then you start
pointless.
thinking like that. You think, oh, probably should do something today. Get out and do something. So for everyone listening, go and do something useful today because you are going to die.
Yeah, turn this off right now.
Stop wasting your time. Go and do something useful. Come on.
Go build a boat out of foam, okay?
Yeah. Go and build a foam boat. Do something. Go run off a cliff.
What else could you build out of foam, do you think? So you've done the boat.
Well,
You
I'm
could
thinking
do
about
a.
making a little one because I've got quite a lot of leftover stuff.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about making a little one for my daughter, because you can't get little kids kayaks that are like, because she's 7, so she's small. So I'm thinking I'll do a little bit of math, work out how buoyant it needs to be, and I'll make like a really tiny little kayak. So
That'd be
then,
sick.
so then make it super stable. I'll make it wide with a little like runners underneath and everything. So I might just make another one because I've got loads of leftover material.
Mhm.
So I think that's another thing I might make out of it. But yeah, you can do sculptures and stuff. There's loads of people making stuff out of foam, but usually it's like the really cheap styrofoam they picked up for free, right? They're not going and buying $70 sheets and then hacking it to pieces. But I like making stuff. I made a giant pair of bat wings, which I just took apart last week because they don't work. They had a 20-foot wingspan. So I like
Excuse me.
making stuff.
Ugh. Excuse me. You made bat wings to try to like actually jump off your roof and fly, kind of shit.
No, it's just like a Halloween costume that I made a
Oh,
while
okay.
back. But then I sort of stored it and it got like really manky and moldy. So then I took it all apart because it was so I seized up and it was the idea. It just like folded out. It was because I used to make a lot of Halloween costumes.
Cool. So I saw another video on your channel of like the human-powered planes, which I
Yeah.
thought were really sick. Would you ever make one of those? Do you think you could?
If I was like a single person, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely, because you see, it takes these people like years to make these things, right?
Mhm.
They tinker with them and stuff. Like, so it'd probably take you like 6 years of messing about in your garage and stuff. And yeah, it'd be fun, but you'd have to have like nothing else going on in your life. Do you know what I mean? It'd be like the ones I'd have a going one. Like, they look like a lot of fun, but
Mhm.
yeah, I think I'd be all right. I could design something like that, make something like that. But I think it's kind of one of those, you've got to be obsessed about it, right? I'm not.
Yeah, yeah,
The
for
thing is,
sure.
I'm not obsessed about anything enough to get really good at anything. I'm
Mhm.
sort of mildly good at a lot of things, but I'm not really good at anything. If that makes
Same.
sense.
Same. We can both ride the unicycle. You're like one of the few people that I know that also
Yeah.
unicycles. So yeah, I feel like we're both kind of a person that just learns a bunch of random stupid
Did you go
talents.
out and decide you want to go on unicycle, or someone thrust it on you as a gift? Because mine was a gift, so that's my excuse, right?
Mm. No, I thrusted it out. I like when I was younger, like every Christmas, I would want something super cool, right? So like one
Right.
Christmas, I asked for a unicycle. We went out and got like $1,000 unicycle. That was like I still have it. It's like an
A
off-roading
thousand.
unicycle. Yeah,
Jeez.
it's got like a big fat like off-roading tire. You can like
Yeah.
ride it through the woods if you want. It's like it's fucking crazy. Um,
I want to see video of this. I want to see the next podcast. I want to see like video clips of you doing your tricks.
Off-roading, I'm not good anymore, and I was never even that good. But like when I was younger, I used to like ride it up and down the street and shit. I would
Yeah.
never like do any real stunts, but yeah.
It's really uncomfortable, isn't it? Unicycles are really not designed for men.
No, yeah, exactly. They need to switch it up.
Especially if you try and if you get on and you get on too quickly, you sort of sit on yourself, if you know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah,
you're
I
like,
would have to like
oh!
adjust myself and like place it like in front of me on the seat.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, yeah.
You almost have to tape everything out of the way.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is kind of like a silly fucking thing anyways, you know what I mean? Like this unicycle. What's the point really? Um
How long did it take you to get like the basics of now, just to move around?
Probably like a day. And then I was so pissed cuz like it took me like all day to learn. Maybe
Yeah.
like and then like the second day I could do it. And then like my buddy, he learned it in like 10 minutes. He could ride as good as me. And I was
Really?
like,
Holy crap.
this fuck. You know what I mean? I spent all day, probably like 12 hours learning how to fucking
I,
ride this
I should
instead of
lend you
falling.
my. I've got a really tall one. I should lend you my giraffe unicycle, and then you can play around with that when you get bored.
That'd be
'Cause
sick. I haven't
I,
even rid the one I have in like years, though, man. Like, I
I did
should
get.
really, though. Go ahead.
I got paid. I got paid to ride that. So I had a big one, a giant
Mhm.
one, in England, and then when I emigrated, I didn't bring it with me because it's like, what do I need a unicycle for? And then someone stumbled across a video of me riding it, and they contacted on my I had a website, right?
Mhm.
This is pre YouTube, and so this woman randomly contacts me and says, "Do you want to take part in a parade? We'll pay you." I was like, "Well, I can't because I haven't got a unicycle. But if you buy me a unicycle, I'll take part in the parade." So that's what I did. I got paid for unicycle. So I'm officially a professional unicycler.
Wait, so they paid you and gave you a unicycle that you got to
No,
keep?
the payment
Or
was the unicycle, right? It
oh,
was
okay, that's
a few
awesome. That's
hundred
sick.
bucks. It was a few $100.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome, man. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
so I got paid
Yeah.
to do this parade. I'm just like, all right. You know, it was a guy that owned a pharmacy.
Mm.
Wanted to have like his pharmacy in the parade, so I had to go through this parade and unicycle. But I couldn't
How'd
get
you
on my
do?
unicycle. Sorry.
How'd you do? You didn't fuck up?
Well, the thing was, right, it's difficult to get on like a giraffe unicycle, right? Normally I would like lean it up against something and I'd climb on and I'd be wobbly, then I'd like push off and then I'd go.
Mhm.
I didn't have the whole climbing up it thing because it's a bit sketchy. You get to the top and then you're like, you've got to be up there quick, and I never practiced it enough.
Mhm.
So I said yes to this thing, and then the parade is constantly going down the street. So I'm having to like unicycle, get ahead, get to the point where if I fall off, I've then got to run ahead and then like get a lamppost, and then get on and catch up to where I'm supposed to be in the parade. It was, yeah. I got a free unicycle out of it, so that was good.
That's awesome, man. That's so funny. I just imagine you doing that. Can you juggle as well? I feel like you can juggle.
Yeah.
Can you juggle and unicycle at the same time?
Yeah, I've got juggling clubs.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
It's not nothing I'm too proud of because I think that circus skills are all a little bit weird and nerdy, aren't they? You know, so don't tell anyone about that stuff, right?
All right. All right, man. I think this has been good.
Yeah.
We've been talking about an hour.
Right.
Is there any plugs you want to make? You can just plug all your shit, buddy.
Just do something interesting with your lives before you die, people.
All right, I'll put your YouTube channel in the description.
No, don't bother.
You don't want it? Come on, man. Come on.
No one
You don't want people to watch like you make this foam boat. All right. Thanks for doing this, man. Appreciate you.
All right. See ya.
All right. Peace out, bro.